Once you learn to read, you will be forever free. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others, rather than to be false, and to incur my own abhorrence. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob and degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe. I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. Without a struggle, there can be no progress. The white man's happiness cannot be purchased by the black man's misery. To suppress free speech is a double wrong. It violates the rights of the hearer as well as those of the speaker. People might not get all they work for in this world, but they must certainly work for all they get. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. I would unite with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong. It is not light that we need, but fire, it is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. Slaves are generally expected to sing as well as to work. The American people have this to learn, that where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither person nor property is safe. Slaves sing most when they are most unhappy. The songs of the slave represent the sorrows of his heart, and he is relieved by them, only as an aching heart is relieved by its tears. No man can put a chain about the ankle of his fellow man without at last finding the other end fastened about his own neck. A gentleman will not insult me, and no man not a gentleman can insult me. In a composite nation like ours, as before the law, there should be no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no white, no black, but common country, common citizenship, equal rights and a common destiny. A man is worked upon by what he works on. He may carve out his circumstances, but his circumstances will carve him out as well. The life of a nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. Power concedes nothing without a demand. I had as well be killed running as die standing. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to and you have the exact measure of the injustice and wrong which will be imposed on them. For of all slaveholders with whom I have ever met, religious slaveholders are the worst. I have ever found them the meanest and basest, the most cruel and cowardly, of all others. Some know the value of education by having it. I know its value by not having it. A smile or a tear has not nationality, joy and sorrow speak alike to all nations, and they, above all the confusion of tongues, proclaim the brotherhood of man. You have seen how a man was made a slave, you shall see how a slave was made a man. What to the slave is the 4th of July? The destiny of the colored American is the destiny of America. The soul that is within me no man can degrade. The man who is right is a majority. He who has God and conscience on his side, has a majority against the universe. A man who will enslave his own blood, may not be safely relied on for magnanimity. Freedom is a road seldom traveled by the multitude. The silver trump of freedom roused in my soul eternal wakefulness. My hopes were never brighter than now. Our destiny is largely in our hands. At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument, is needed. Those who profess to favor freedom, and yet deprecate agitation, are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. But I should be false in the earliest sentiments of my soul, if I suppressed the opinion. I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others, rather than to be false, and incur my own abhorrence. We have to do with the past only as we can make it useful to the present and the future. Experience is a keen teacher. I didn't know I was a slave until I found out I couldn't do the things I wanted. The relation between the white and colored people of this country is the great, paramount, imperative, and all-commanding question for this age and nation to solve. Men talk of the Negro problem. There is no Negro problem. The problem is whether the American people have honesty enough, loyalty enough, honor enough, patriotism enough to live up to their Constitution. Who would be free themselves must strike the blow. I urge you to fly to arms and smite to death the power that would bury the government and your liberty in the same hopeless grave. This is your golden opportunity. I will give Mr. Freeland the credit of being the best master I ever had, till I became my own master. The Christianity of America is a Christianity, of whose votaries it may be as truly said, as it was of the ancient scribes and Pharisees, they bind heavy burdens, and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Right is of no sex, truth is of no color, God is the Father of us all, and we are all brethren. Immense wealth, and its lavish expenditure, fill the great house with all that can please the eye, or tempt the taste. Here, appetite, not food, is the great desideratum. What upon earth is the matter with the American people? Do they really covet the world's ridicule as well as their own social and political ruin? There is not a man beneath the canopy of heaven that does not know that slavery is wrong for him. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.